Yeah,
Bad
maybe,
timing.
maybe cut that.
Yeah.
Yep. Whoops.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah. We should just start this pod off just shit talking Eric, since that's what we did when you're on the pod, Brandon.
It's a rite of passage.
It's the rite of passage, yeah.
Yeah,
You don't show up to the pod, and that's
the Superbad episode. I kept waiting for like the late run-in from you, man. It just never happened.
yeah.
Like a WWE.
I think there almost was one, but I can't remember which one that was.
It was super bad because we had planned to do like a double recording that day.
Yeah,
that's right. I couldn't get to it,
and you couldn't get to the super bad one. We kept waiting. We kept pushing it off as long as we could.
And I was like, he's gonna pop in, and here it comes, and it just never happened, dude. Disappointed. 1 star.
1 star. Damn it, Brandon! You're bringing down our numbers.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe.
Unfollowed.
All right. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see obviously we don't have Eric with us.
He didn't grow hair.
He didn't grow hair. Yeah, he doesn't have a new setup.
Yeah.
This is not Eric. We have a special guest with us this time. A friend of the pod, fellow podcaster as well, host of Be Kind, Let's Rewind, a nostalgia podcast where they talk about TV, movies, video games, music, anything nostalgia related. Chris Lowery, everybody.
What's up, guys? Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. I'll open the floor up to you. Kind of, tell us a little about yourself, plug your stuff, let the people know who you are.
Yeah, dude. I'm Chris, co-host of Be Kind, Let's Rewind. We're on YouTube as well, Spotify, all those fun things. We basically just cover everything from 80s, 90s, and today, movie shows, like you said. Brandon repping the brand. I got my lid on, It's me and my buddy Leaf and Shadwick, and we got some guests that come on with us too. But yeah, man, we big Norm Macdonald fans. So if you're a fan of that kind of humor, that's throughout the episode. And we have booze of the week and all kinds of fun things. So come join us. Be Kind, Let's Rewind. We usually drop episodes YouTube on Thursday, and they'll be there Friday morning on every other audio system. So yeah, man. But again, thanks for having me on. And before we get going, I want to say, man, so all these group podcasts that you see out there, so, friends starting podcasts, there's always got to be a point guard in there, guys. The listeners may not understand that. So there's always one guy. He's got to round everybody up. He's got to do the schedule. So Nish, from one point guard to another. Well done, my friend.
Yes,
so
thank you.
It's a hard task sometimes to wrangle all these fellers. So
dude, that's what you're just talking about.
Getting shorts ready, scheduling stuff, man. It's a lot of work that I think a lot of people don't understand from behind the scenes. So, man, from one point guard to another, good job.
Yeah, appreciate that. Listen, it's nice to get recognition every now and then. Every week,
you ain't getting it from me.
Yeah, every week. I send a text message towards the end of the week. I'm like, all right, guys, it's that time of the week.
Yep. And they're like, God, why?
And it's like Groundhog Day. Me and Eric going, huh?
Yeah.
What is podcast?
Today? Yeah.
That's today?
Yeah.
Same time? Same day?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, at least point guard. I'm more of a stand in the corner. Be open. I'm not going to work to get open. I might be open though.
You've been Steve Kerr your whole life.
That's true.
You're going to hit the shot when it counts, and that's all that matters.
Yep.
That's all we need you to do, man. We need critical role players. Okay?
Yeah.
That's right.
Just in all fairness, none of us are Jordan.
No. No.
Not at all. Not at all, man.
I'm like Tony Kukoc, like late stages Tony Kukoc.
I'm just like BJ Armstrong. I'm just glad to be there.
Yeah. BJ Armstrong without the 3-point shooting ability.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm NBA Jam BJ Armstrong. Yeah. That's who I
am. So we've been wanting to do this collab for a while.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to think people have been calling for this collab of the century.
Yeah, of course.
Some people are saying,
yeah, dude, that's what I heard.
Yeah, other people are saying just a few dudes on a mic just talking just so they can hear themselves talk. Like,
yeah, hey, whatever.
Yeah. Who's to say which one's right?
Dude, so me and Brandon have been friends for a freaking long time now. So I mean, when he got in the pod game, I was like, it's only a matter of time before we get together and start collabing. So this is one of many, man. Hopefully.
Yeah. For sure.
Unless I get you guys canceled after one. So
listen,
we're get in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, by the time this episode comes out, we will already have the Tropic Thunder episode come out before this. So if we're not already canceled,
yeah, I'm fine. I'll be all right. Yeah. Not worried now.
Everything you say is fine. Nothing can beat that one. So
let it fly.
Let it fly, man. Nice. Let it rip. Yeah. So we figured what better way to have you on for the first collab than with the movie episode, and a movie that one is near and dear to mine and Brandon's heart. We watched it together in college for the first time, and we just absolutely fell in love with it. And Brandon mentioned that this was one of your go-to movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing Grandma's Boy today.
Yes, hell yeah. And I've got a dirty little secret for you guys.
Oh, please share. First
time I watched this, I hated it.
Oh, wow.
I was in a dark place in my life at that time.
Wow.
It was a dark effing period, like on semi-pro. But yeah, man, it was or I guess that was walk hard. But anyway, yeah, man, it was I watched it and I think I wanted the Sandler cameo that never came.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what happened. I went back and watched it like 3 months later, rented it from Blockbuster. That's how long ago it was. But anyway, when I went back and watched it again, and I was like, what's wrong with me? Well, I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with me then if I didn't like this movie. So yeah, great movie now, obviously.
And that was like perfect timing for us, like in college, like that just lowbrow humor. Like,
for sure, yeah.
I mean, it was perfect for us. Like it couldn't have been set up any better. Our other co-host, who shall not be named, this episode,
Voldemort,
has not watched it. Refuses to watch it for whatever reason. I don't know. He's just proving a point at this point.
Yeah, look, he's gonna
I think it's more of a me and Anish thing.
Yeah. Okay. He's gotten to the point where so to kind of dive into how our relationship works. Yeah, so me and Brandon, we pretty much watch anything and everything under the sun. And Eric doesn't watch anything, especially if we suggest it.
Yeah,
he's got some reason. I get it. Yeah.
Like he's like that with Breaking Bad. Like because me and Brandon talk so highly of it, he will not watch it.
He won't watch that.
He just won't watch it.
I can't really talk though, man. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Of all the stuff we do on our podcast, and the reason why I was manager at the movie theater when it came out. And they made me come in on a Tuesday, and I've held a grudge ever since. So at this point, I'm just
you gotta stand up for what you believe in. You know,
sticking to my guns at this point, man. It's just beyond petty, and I know it's a great movie series and everything. And I'm like, nope, sorry, you made me work on a Tuesday when I was 21 years old. No thanks.
Yeah, that's how we are. So me and Eric, when we were in college, Black Friday back in the day, they would have like $2-3 DVDs, and that was kind of the big thing, especially when you're in college, right? So one of the DVDs that we bought and we fully intended to watch the movie was Donnie Darko. So one thing led to another. We just never ended up watching it, and now it's just a running bit. Now we still haven't watched the movie. Still haven't watched the movie, and it's like I don't know if we'll ever watch it now. I have it. I own it. It's downstairs in my entertainment console.
Speaking of Black Friday, we actually did an episode on Black Friday last year. So if you comb through our archives. There was Brandon had a story on there.
Yeah, I think I'm in a cameo.
Yeah, man. So there's some familiarity there. But yeah, there was going back and digging through those stories. It was kind of Wild West back then, man. But I do miss the $5 or $3 bin at Walmart when DVDs matter.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be I may get on my soapbox a few times tonight, but go buy DVDs, guys. They're taking media away slowly but surely.
Especially like the old school funny stuff.
Yeah, dude. I just started buying them and started ripping them when I can. Hey, by any means necessary at this point.
Yeah. Yep. What's funny is when we did the Forgetting Sarah Marshall movie. So it's not on streaming anywhere right now. Like you have to rent it basically, and I have it on DVD. That was like one of the last actual DVDs, but not Blu-rays that I bought. So I watched it on that, and I'm like, this quality is tough.
Oh, dude,
it's tough,
dude. Some of the stuff that we do, actually, I have 2 working VCRs currently because I have like some software where I can rip stuff off that. But I had to get in living color. It's not on anything. I had to buy DVDs, and so I can rip the DVDs like digitally. I'll send you all the copies of stuff I rip. But like, it's crazy because you're like, dude, that was like one of the funniest shows in the world. Why is that not streaming anywhere?
Yeah,
surprisingly short run too.
Yeah, 100%, like 5 seasons, I think.
Yeah, like people talk about it like it was on forever. It was really not that long at all.
No, the Wayans were like, we're gonna go make the Hollywood movie piece.
Yeah, I guess
movie
it
money.
Too bad.
Yeah,
I guess it didn't
that movie.
Too bad.
Yeah, worked out all right for him. And sorry, I sidetracked us big time.
Yeah,
told you I was gonna do this.
Listen, you've listened to enough of our podcast where we lose track all the time.
Yeah,
there's no rhyme or reason here.
Yeah, no rhyme or reason. We just rip, man. We just go from the hip,
dude. As you should. It's the funnest way to do it.
Exactly. So I'll try to get us back on track. So Grandma's Boy, cult classic movie, came out in the mid 2000s. So we'll start off just kind of random fun facts. So I know you mentioned the first time you watched it, Chris, was you rented it from Blockbuster, or the second time, I guess you rented it from.
First time I rented it from Blockbuster, and then I went back and rented it again. But yeah. It like, what did it come out in 06?
06.
Yeah, 06.
Yeah.
So fun fact: this was the most stolen DVD from Blockbuster at the time.
That's a good fact. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, obviously, this being like a cult classic, it bombed in the theaters. Like, it only made $6 million on a $5 million budget, which for a comedy is
dude, it was bad.
Yeah,
especially that time, like.
But it made up for it, and that's DVD the thing
sales.
that kind of because we, like you guys, you'll go over like your movie gross budget and all that stuff. You cannot find rental grosses anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that this movie raked it in at like the rental movie places, so they made a substantial amount of money on that. But I just assume it was all cash business and they didn't pay taxes on it. That's why I can't. I always assume the worst. That's why we can't find any records.
Yeah. So this one did have records of DVD sales.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, 100 million in DVD sales it made.
Okay, so, DVD sales.
Yeah, not necessarily rentals. Yeah, rentals
right,
that's, I don't know where you'd be able to find that.
Dude, Blockbuster, because that's what I said. Like, back in the day, we say this on our podcast all the time. You used to walk into Blockbuster to be like top 10 rented movies. So there's like, they were keeping track of it, but somewhere that information is lost.
Initially, I'd seen that same. Chris, you might have seen it too. That same quote from Swartzen, where he said him and Sandler like met the Blockbuster CEO at a party or something, and they said that movie that was our most stolen. I'm like, how does he know?
Yeah,
and obviously, like they, like you said, they were tracking it somehow. But
most stolen by employees, probably.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just selling it on the black market.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so definitely got second legs after the theatrical release, and obviously huge movie now. I feel like it's, if when you're talking about classic comedies, especially in that mid 2000 range, you kind of have to include Grandma's Boy.
For sure, man. Streaming on Hulu currently, if you didn't know.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. Also, a classic Adam Sandler production company movie. Kind of flies on the radar because, like you said, there's no like Adam Sandler cameo, so you don't really associate it. But then you look at it, and you're like, oh, these are like all of Sandler's guys that are in this movie.
Yeah, for sure, except for him. And he directed. I think he helped direct, or I know he helped write.
He had some part in it. And I forgot David Spade was in it.
Dude, I know, me too.
Same.
Like this
on the rewatch. I
good
forgot.
old Shiloh.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is like a really good cast, and
it really is.
Another person near dear to my heart, Linda. I don't know how to say her last name. The girl from Freaks and Geeks. Samantha
Cardellini or whatever.
Cardellini, I don't know how to say her last name, but
her with blonde hair. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Another fun fact: the Lara Croft doll, the Tomb Raider doll. So they actually cannot get the licensing rights to use an actual Tomb Raider doll. So they actually just used a Barbie and just kind of made it up to look as close as possible.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
the details, man. The details.
That's funny. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, did you talked about it streaming on Hulu? I ended up watching it on Hulu. I have it's another one. I have the uncut version, but I was me being lazy. I was like, I'm just gonna watch it on Hulu. And then when I was doing like my half-ass research, I was reading it. It was like the uncut and the actual, like whatever the other version. It's not really that different. There's like it's like an extra minute of
I'm
something.
sure. Yeah.
They're like, it's very minimal, but they put that uncut on it. Probably made a bunch of money off
an
that
extra minute of Jonah Hill in the boob.
Yeah,
it probably is. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that scene when I rewatched it. I'm like, oh wow, okay, he's really going in.
Dude, did you know that he was 17 years old when they filmed this?
Yeah.
So his mom was on set.
Off.
No, she was on set while he was doing that.
That's crazy, dude. It's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just living the life.
Dude, he's just becoming a man in front of his mom's eyes. Hollywood's not weird at all.
Yeah. And now he's a Oscar-winning.
Yeah, and he has the skinny fat switch that he can be fat Jonah or skinny Jonah just with a flip of a switch now. It's pretty nice.
Exactly. And then obviously one last thing I had, the demonic game that they were creating is actually like based on a real game, that like just an unreleased game that a video gaming company had.
Really?
And
okay.
They let the movie basically use it as a test track because it was never going to be released from their end. But you can just use this for your movie.
Wow.
Yeah, good find on that one. That's you could tell though, I guess, kind of because it was pretty put together for the shots you saw in it. It was like, oh, I mean, someone put some work into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice
for sure.
The only other thing I had down that the chimp, the guy, not this guy, but the chimp in the movie, was I mean, you could tell by watching it, but it was a real chimp that they like trained and like had there.
Bro,
and they're like, well, we trained him up, and it's like that's like wild, like that when they're just like, on the couch with him.
When they're driving, and the chimp, I don't know if you watch it, but if you watch it when he's driving, the chimp leaning over, like it's like lunging at, I forgot who, it's like Alan Covert in the front seat, but it's leaning over at him where I'm like, oh, buddy, that's a wild monkey.
You never know, dude.
Yeah.
There's plenty. We were talking about HBO. There's plenty of HBO documentaries on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Faces off,
dude.
Semi-pro. It's not a bet. Don't bet it. It's not a bet. Don't bet it. But yeah, that's all I had for random notes. Also, a lot of good cameos in this movie. And I'm surprised like the grandmas, because all those grandmas, obviously Doris Roberts?
Roberts.
Yeah, like
she did a lot.
Surprisingly, surprising to see her in this movie. But I guess she's always kind of been in the comedy realm with Everybody Loves Raymond and all that. So, but glad they were able to get somebody with a little bit of pedigree to be that role.
Oh,
I feel like it kind of solidified the movie a little bit more.
Played it perfect. I mean, all the grandmas played it perfect. Like,
yeah, for sure. Also, another fun little cameo at the beginning. Kevin Nash, one of the movers, one of the guys kicking him out of his apartment.
Yeah, man. I can't remember who the other guy is. I've looked it up like 4 different times and I always forget. But I actually got to meet Kevin Nash when I was doing I did some pro wrestling back in the day, and good times. It's great for your back when you're in your mid 40s. But I was on a show. Kevin Nash was in the back, so it's the whole thing. You always go shake everybody's hand, but I was like, man, hey, I'm a big fan of yours or whatever. And he stood up, shook my hand, like asked me what my name was. And so I was like, I know this dude is like so sick and tired of everybody being like, dude, you remember the NWO? So I was like, because I mean, honestly, this is one of my favorite movies. And I was like, bro, I loved you in Grandma's Boy. I was like, how was it being on the set with those dudes? And he just sat there and like talked to me about Grandma's Boy. And, you know, he said he's there for a couple days for the shoot, and everybody was super cool and really funny. And then I was like, all right, cool. Like, I mean, he talked to me for a couple minutes, but I was like, I don't want to take up any more of his time, because I think he was talking to like Ron Simmons at the time or something. Felt like I interrupted, but I was just like, dude, I really appreciate it. I won't take up any more time. And he was like, all right, man. He was like, good talking to you, Chris. And I was like, damn, like you remembered my name, just because he's just one of those guys. It's like, he knows the etiquette on how to do that. But anyway, shout out Kevin Nash, like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met, for real. So
that's awesome.
Shout out. Yeah.
Super cool guy.
I mean, by all accounts, like you hear him all these documentaries that come out. Like he seems like just like a real like.
He's a charmer for sure. Yeah, 100%.
And I always forget, like we're all Tennessee boys. We always forget, like he attended the University of Tennessee.
Exactly.
And, like he's from the Tennessee area, so like it's kind of nice.
Yeah, he's one of my goals. I want to get him on our podcast eventually.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, talk to him about some wrestling stuff. Be like, hey, you want to talk about the stuff that you've talked about at nauseum? Like over and over again. Sweet. Actually, I want to talk to him about his like acting stuff, because I mean he did John Wick and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So like, you know,
like, so Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike. Magic Mike. Well, were you hanging dong for real, or
is that prosthetic? Or I just need to know.
Yeah,
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah,
as real as that chimp.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we're pro wrestling friendly podcast. I remember watching it for the first time, being like, "Was that Kevin Nash?"
Yeah, I know. Same here. I was like,
what?
Like his haircut or whatever. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's like doing like a triple time. I'm like, that's him.
Yep.
I was like, is it? No, it's him. Like,
I think Longest Yard was after this or before this. I can't remember.
I want to say like right around the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe
So I mean, he was in the Sandler camp for sure. So
yeah,
probably where the connection was made. But yeah.
Yep. Longest Yard was year before. So right there together.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. Anybody else got anything for random notes before we dive into our categories?
I just love the if you looked at it from a high level, he's just living the dream. Like, quit his corporate job and is a video game tester.
Oh, dude.
And it's just like crushing like the young dudes in break room, like playing video games on lunch break.
Every day that I watch this movie, I'm just like, why is this not me? Why can't I just quit?
That's like
go chase my dreams.
I was like, man, that's like just like awesome. Like,
100%.
You could be living in your grandma's house being a video game tester.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be hard for me unless I want to live in a graveyard.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Coming in hot, guys.
That was good. Nice.
Because she's dead.
We'll roll that transition.
That's the joke.
Yeah,
the joke is she's dead. Okay. Just in case you guys missed it.
Oh man. Well, we'll use it as a perfect transition.
Yeah.
Categories. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. So got a lot of categories to run through. We'll start off with the good one. Best scene of the movie. We'll kind of go around the table. We'll just kind of say what our favorite scenes were, and then we'll, kind of do some honorable mentions, talk about ones that we didn't talk about already. Chris, since you're the guest of the pod, I'll let you kick it off for us.
Okay. There's so many that I do enjoy in this, but like as I find, when you start watching a movie like 1,000 times, you get different favorite scenes. This last time I watched it is when Dante is sitting on the couch after the whole video game collapse happens, and they smoke like the super weed. And he's like talking about the ringing in his head, and he picks up the phone, and it's like they're trying to talk to hey, you got to get down here and face JP or whatever, and he's just like, dude, it's the phone. I think it's the devil. And like, he's so baked.
when the phone's ringing, he's like, what is that ringing? Do I have a tumor?
Yeah. I love Dante in this. Like, actually, his real name, Dante. But, dude, hilarious in every Sandler movie he's in. So that's my favorite scene, is him sitting on the couch being blazed. Also, they're going to document it for science. Like, he has that small camcorder, like, on the tripod. He's like going to document it for science. I was like, all right, respect. Been there, unfortunately.
Nick Swartzen said that apparently Dante, he allegedly he was like actually smoking weed.
Yeah, that's in a stand-up.
For the movies, instead of like doing like the pop weed, which is why he's just like throwing heat.
Dude, he's on a different planet if he's doing that, because apparently they got to do like a bazillion takes. So good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody else.
Yeah, they probably didn't get a duplicate take at once.
No, not at all. So, but yeah, that's my favorite scene.
Brandon, what about you?
Give me the party scene towards the end at the grandma's house when another favorite, Dante brings over like pretty much everybody that turns into like a full blown like house party. But talked about one of our favorite characters earlier. Samantha gets up there and her rendition of Salt and Pepper. Push it.
Yeah.
Just kicks off the party right.
Dude.
And, just that whole scene is just hilarious with the grandmas, Nick Swartz. I mean, because you literally have like everyone there
in that,
just all interacting, just
partying. It was on for a long time.
It's a very long scene.
Yeah,
as I was watching it, I was like, "Wow, I forgot how long this scene is."
So good though. So many jokes. I
was like, "Yeah, this has got to be like a top scene."
and part of that scene that you get the payoff for later is the voicemail they leave for JP.
Oh, yes, dude,
yeah.
Like when
I'm a robot. I have a robot vagina.
Yeah. Just fantastic. Nice. So, man, after I rewatched this, I was like, Jesus, every scene is so freaking hilarious. And I tend to do this every time we do a movie episode. I'm always like writing down like every scene. I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta like have some sort of standards here before I just do the whole movie. But I think mine, and Brandon, I'm surprised you didn't go with this one, is the one where Jeff is playing Dance Dance.
Oh, it was
the guy.
Dude, yeah.
He's like, new high score. What does that mean? Did I break it? Is that good?
Yeah.
Swartzen, man. He's one of my favorite comedians. Just if anybody hadn't seen his stand-up,
underrated.
I got to see him in Chattanooga not too long ago. He came by. Me and my wife went to go see a stand-up. But dude, he is so freaking funny. Like just one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, he's excellent. Very, very young in this movie too. Like, you see him now in like the newer movies. You're like, oh man, you can tell he looks very young in this movie. Yeah, so that's what I had. Any of the scenes that I mean, obviously, a lot of scenes in the honorable mention. I had Dante and the Lion where he's on the news. They're just watching him on the news. Wyatt out in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Dude, he looked up and it was the effing king of the jungle.
You had my backup. It was going to be either of the break scenes where they're playing video games. Because I just like the first time they go in there, you're like, oh my gosh, like especially like when we watched it first, like in college, like that's what work's like.
Yeah.
Hey, spoiler
alert,
dude. Yeah, I was a little older than you guys, so I already had a crushed soul from work. So I knew that's not what it was like. And I was like, nah, that's what it should be.
Awesome.
Chris is like, this is fake news, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, that's probably why I was. Yeah, that's probably why I was mad. I was like, this movie sucks. I can't play video games at work.
Brandy, you alluded to this earlier. I'm assuming the scene that you don't want to say out loud because you have kids on the other side of the door there when he's staying at Jeff's house.
Oh, dude.
And he takes a liking to the Tomb Raider doll.
I mean, that's your first introduction to him, and like just laying out like his room, sharing with my roommates. Like,
my roommates. This race car bed.
He's got the race car bed. That air mattress, which is actually like a pull float.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It's so good.
Yeah,
you're down bad if you're sleeping on a pull float.
Yeah. And then just cuts to them standing outside, and Jeff's like, "I can't believe you came on my mom."
I know, like that's like the greatest transition line ever.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention, like, you know, when he's like, you may have to edit this out. When he's like, "Oh God, I can't stop coming. It feels so good." He's like audibly announcing what's happening. Like,
and they're both just standing there, just screaming. Nobody's like running away or anything. Like, just letting it happen.
Yeah,
and we just have to ride the wave.
That's what I was like. I mean, I don't know what would happen. I mean, I guess you got to finish. I mean,
you're going.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late. There's no. It's not like a snot rocket. You're not sucking that thing back in. So
Once it's out the toothpaste,
take out
toothpaste out. It can't put it back in.
Yeah, you can't put it back in too. Oh man. What are the scenes you guys have for your honorable mentions?
I had the one, the sleepover, but when he's talking about his race car bed, he's like, at least I don't sleep in a race car bed. He's like, yeah, but it's a totally sweet bed. Like he's like,
yes.
You know, like I think there's an F-bomb in there, but yeah, man, that's so funny. Like that's the Nick Swartzen. I like too that he has the trunk at the front of his bed with like his pillow in it, like, that you could put in. You know, you got storage in your bed. You know,
are you getting the stuffed animals out? Like...
Yeah. Oh gosh, so funny. That whole scene's great.
Swartzen's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about it a little bit with the when he's on the news, Dante's on the news, you know, and he's talking about the king of the jungle and the, you know, he's got an elephant coming and a lion and, you know, like ordering all this stuff. So yeah, any of those scenes, anything with Dante, sign me up.
Yeah, he's throwing heat in this movie.
Yeah. And just Kevin Nealon too, man. Kevin Nealon with, you know, kind of cameos, but his whole character, he plays the same character and everything he does. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's Kevin Nealon, but like, you know, he's on the desk stretching out, doing yoga, drinking tea. Like, you know, it's very Kevin Nealon, very zen. Shout out Kevin Nealon. Him and Norm, I guess, were pretty cool. So I always like anything Kevin Nealon.
Nice.
Yeah, another great side character. I mean, all of them, even like if they're not in there that much, it would like pretty much all of them. Like, I mean, even it's a very small scene, but when they go to like the vegan restaurant and it's David Spades, the waiter, this very small, like Shiloh, it's a very small role, and it's not even. It's a very short scene, but it's just hilarious.
Not even like a minute, but it's still Spade. It's you know, funny because I guess him and Swartzen are pretty close too, so it's just funny.
Yeah, and also one of the scenes I had is when he first goes to his grandma's house and she's like showing him around, and like he shows her the bed that the roommate died in. She's like, she didn't die here. She's like, oh no, dear, she died right here on the floor.
On the floor. That one's pretty good, and the Swartzen making out with what's her name. Dude, every single time that's still funny. And he talks about it in his stand-up, and he was like, her family was on set one day, like right before they had to just make out, and he has like a whole gag about how he just looked over at her husband and was like like just went in. Like, I was like, dude, yeah, awesome.
That is hilarious. All right, perfect. Let's move on to next category. Best quote, best line. lots of one-liners in this movie, boys.
Oh, so many.
Lots of one-liners. It's
Like,
almost too many to choose from.
Yeah, gonna have to drop some F-bombs in this one. The watching it back again this last time, like when they're about to smoke the weed and he's like, we'll go to the loony bin together. I don't give a fuck. Like, he's just like, he's gonna, I use that, me and my friends, anytime somebody's like, we're at a party or something and like, hey, you want another beer? And we'll be like, dude, I'll go to the loony bin with you. Like, you know, it's like, that quote has stuck with me and my friends for like 20 freaking years now.
That's awesome.
So
that's a good one.
Still use that one.
That's a good one.
Well, I'll use the one that me and Anish use all the time. You alluded it already, and that's why I didn't pick that one for best scene because I knew that's the quote I wanted was when they're doing Dance Dance Revolution. He's like, "High score. What does that mean? Did I break it?
What does it mean? Did I break it?"
Oh yeah.
Anish and I use that out of context most of the time, but it's like, well, high score. What's that mean? Or what does that mean? Did we break it? Like we've used that for years. That's the one that's for whatever reason has stuck with us, and I think part of it is we shoot it at Eric. And he tries to pretend like at this point he probably knows the movie just because we quoted so much.
Right, yeah, dude, 100%.
But he pretends like he doesn't. But
yeah, that was gonna be mine, Brandon too.
I knew that's why I jumped in.
Yeah,
but it would be.
But after rewatching it, there's one line that I don't know. It just made me laugh so freaking hard. It was so dumb. It's just a throwaway line, and it was actually improvised. It wasn't in the script. It was when we kind of first see JP, and he's like in the corner, just face against the wall. And like Alan is just talking to him, and like as he walks, he's like, "How can he see me?"
Oh, dude, yeah.
He's just like he thinks he's like invisible to everybody.
I do have an honorable mention that for favorite line that is just towards it's at the very end of the movie when he's like, "Sit on my face." Yeah, he's just like,
malfunctioning. Like
dude, he can't help it, dude. Somebody spilled water on the robot, and he's just going crazy. But like that. Dude, the first time I heard that, I did like when I wasn't in a bad headspace. When I watched it and I was like ready to enjoy comedy again, I laughed so freaking hard at that. Like that was so funny, man.
Yeah, my honorable mention. I was gonna say my honorable mention was another one of his when he's leaving the break room and he like flips on the bird.
Yep.
He's like, "Adios, turd nuggets."
But he's doing the whole like the middle finger like gun.
Oh,
like,
dude, dude.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The what is that ringing? Do I have a tumor? Just
dude.
I feel like you can use that in any aspect of life. Like,
yes, 100%. Yeah. I just the more I watch this, the more I'm just like want to be Dante. Like, how do I get to be that? Where did I go wrong in life that I just can't be just naked selling weed out of my basement?
Yeah, we gotta get you the chimp.
That's the first one, Dr. Shakaloo. Don't forget,
Dr. Shakaloo, the shaman. Business must be doing well for Dante.
Yeah, man.
Buying lions and elephants and chimps.
He's his own shaman. I mean, dude, sign me up.
Yeah,
I'll quit tomorrow.
Oh man, yeah. Those at the very beginning when they're playing video games while they're getting kicked out, and they're playing the or whatever.
Rob Schneider cameo too. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Rob Schneider cameo. Yeah. But he's like, this is like if Tyson fought an infant.
Yeah.
Like, unplug his controller.
Hey, you know what? Fun fact on that, nerd fact. Unplugging the controller, that old Xbox, that would have paused the game.
Yeah,
but,
I noticed that too. Like when I first watched it too, I was just like, yeah, it's still fun. Also, there's another honorable mention. Again, I'm going to hit so many Dante lines because that's what I want my life to be.
I think we know you're MVP.
Yeah, dude. I was like, where he's like, where do you get your weed? And he's like, from you, Dante. He's like, oh yeah, what's up, Mr. Cheezel? Yeah. Like, he forgot that he sold that dude weed. Like, I was like, yes.
I had another honorable mention that I almost didn't write it down, but we just talked about the scene, so I'm going to say it. It's at the beginning, like when they're getting kicked out, and Rob Schneider like throws the bong at him, and it like shatters, and like Alan just looks down and he like looks. I can't remember his roommate's name. But anyway, he looks at him. He's like, "That's your fault.
That's your fault too." Yeah,
like just the way he like delivers it.
You forgot smoking lamp.
Yeah,
it's like Rob Schneider always doing like crazy weird characters in every damn movie.
Yeah.
Like. Is funny.
Yep. Another classic Sandler casting.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Nice. All right. Let's go to move on. Roll into the categories. Best character or favorite character. This could be side character, could be main character, whoever you want it to be. Typically when we do this, we do side characters, but I feel like all the side characters were kind of in this movie for a majority of the movie. So
Yeah, I'll probably need about 5 or 6 minutes to think about my favorite character.
Yeah.
No, it's Dante. Like 100%. Like sign me up every time, man. That dude is living the dream. And he's bronze. He's not even tan. He's bronze.
Yeah, he's bronze. Yeah. Just like one of those sports statues outside of a
dude. 100%. Yeah, man.
Luscious locks of hair too. Just...
I know, dude. He's shredded too, because apparently you get shredded selling weed. It happened in Pineapple Express too.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, again, I missed my calling, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Should have been a drug dealer. Where the hell was the guidance counselor on that one?
Yeah, stupid dare.
Yeah. Thanks, Reagan.
Yeah. Brandon, what about you? Who's your favorite character?
It has to be Nick Swartzen. That's my 1A draft pick.
Nice.
Every scene he's in, I feel like he steals. I feel like he could almost steal the movie. I could almost have him for MVP of the movie as well. But just every scene he's in, just hilarious throughout. Like anytime he mocks JP, it's just he does the voice better, almost as good as JP. Like,
do you know what that's from? Do you know why he does that? He had a character called the Gay Robot, like that him and Sandler were coming up with, and it was going to be this like cartoon or skit, and it was just a robot that was overtly gay.
Wow!
And like, so he was doing this robot voice, and then that's kind of where it came from. You can find it. Like some clips on YouTube if you type it in, like Swartzen Gay Robot. But yeah, that's kind of where that came from, and so he just put it in the movie and ran with it.
So you know what's funny? In the hallway, like outside the offices, in their office, they have like the posters of like all like the video games or whatever. One of them is a Gay Robot poster.
Really?
That's okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So it was supposed to be like a whole cartoon series or a show or something, and it fell through. But him and Sandler were working on it, and that's where all that came from.
Didn't know that.
This is what happens when you don't sell weed for a living. You just go down these rabbit holes.
Rabbit holes.
Yeah, I find entertainment some other ways.
I'm like, I guess this will be good for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like every scene he's in, like, I mean, we talked about all of them already, but the bedroom, like, it's like his race car bed, and then at the party with the grandma, like,
dude.
I mean, and then at work with JP or doing Dance Dance Revolution, I'm like, the dude's just throwing heaters.
That line when he's like, he's talking when he's about to make out and hook up with that chick, and he's like talking about Charlie Chaplin. He's like, was he silent?
Yeah.
It's like his line. Not after I got done with him. I'm like, God, like, good stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I think Nick Swartzen would have been my pick too, but I'll switch it up. I'm gonna go with Doris Roberts, Grandma Lily.
Nice.
I feel like every time she was on the screen, she was like the perfect character. She was like a good mix of like the loving grandma, but also like just go with the flow. Like they just made
fit in with that crowd.
Yeah.
Dude, she's like, trying to hook up her grandson too at the end. You know, like showing the pictures, making the connection, giving her approval. Like, yeah,
just an A+ grandma level performance from her.
For sure. School JP.
Yeah,
dude, beat him in the game. It's her grandson's game. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Grandma Lily.
Nice.
JP was a close second for me though.
Respect.
Yeah. JP, even though as annoying as he was just a hilarious character the whole time.
I mean, he was in that actor. I don't know his name, but was in Dodgeball. Was in
Avatars.
Yeah, so he's in some serious stuff recently, right? Like, like good for him. But dude,
Joel David Moore. But
Dodgeball, he's funny as hell. Like,
he is funny in that.
And in this one too, like anything I've ever seen him in. I think it's like underrated when an actor can do comedy so well and then go do drama well too. Like, I feel like more flowers need to be given when somebody can be that versatile.
But unfortunately for him, when I see him, I think, adios, turd nuggets.
Sit on my
face.
He played that whole like towards the end of like a robot malfunctioning just perfect.
Oh, dude, yeah. I know. What's Bono like in the Matrix?
Yeah. Don't get the red pill.
Yeah.
Yes. When we were, obviously for anyone who watches, we always try to do funny thumbnails, and I was like, man, I wish I had a leather trench coat or something.
Dude, yeah.
I would try to do a JP, but
Turns
shockingly
out,
I didn't have
yeah.
have his wardrobe readily available.
Turns out you didn't hate high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no dusters in my closet.
No. Dude, shout out one of my buddies. All he wanted was a duster for Christmas. He got the freaking duster, then Columbine happened like 5 months later.
No.
Like he finally got
good.
it for Christmas and then was like, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say like, I'm like, God, yeah, he couldn't wear his duster. Like all these people died. I'm just like, yeah, but he couldn't wear his duster, you know?
Yeah,
like
bad timing.
Yeah,
Bad
maybe
timing.
maybe cut that. Yep. Whoops. Yeah. Think that one through.
That's hilarious. All right, that's a perfect transition to the last category.
What?
MVP of the movie.
To what?
MVP of the movie.
It was a perfect transition to the reason Chris has never asked on this podcast again. This is why he has his own podcast. He can't get on anyone else's.
Yeah. He's gotta filter his thoughts through his own avenue. Well, let's go on to MVP of the movie. I feel like a lot of these picks are going to be similar to our favorite character.
Yeah, I have to go with the same. I have to go with Dante as my MVP. Again, on this watch through, this is one of those movies. Got to encourage everybody to go watch it. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric, go watch it.
Yeah.
Or I'll have to replace you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go watch this, man, you'll have a different favorite character every single time you watch it. You just do. It's just one of those movies. So, but I'm gonna go with Dante this go around.
Yeah, that's a good one. Brandon, you going with Nick Swartzen?
I would have, and you know who my backup was? The grandma. Like,
yeah,
I thought because you know what, I'm going Doris Roberts. Give me Doris Roberts.
Nice. There you go.
As an MVP because Nick Swartzen was just doing Nick Swartzen things. This is like him to a T. He didn't really have to work too hard to excel at this character, but I feel like she had to kind of mesh in with that whole Sandler universe, and I think she crushed it.
100%.
For all the reasons that you already talked about, but every scene she's in, it's funny. Does the nice grandma stuff throughout. And like I said, normally this is like you think of like funny grandmas in movies, you think like Betty White's like the GOAT.
Oh yeah,
right.
For sure.
Yeah.
But hey, Doris, man, put her up there. She was doing everything in this movie.
Give her flowers, man.
Yeah. So I mean, her name's in the title, so give me grandma.
Yeah, true. Very true. That's a good point about the Nick Swartzen fact too. He's just doing Nick Swartzen things. Like it wasn't like
let him cook.
Let him cook.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I also probably would have said Dante, just looking at like, who did the most with the amount of time they had on the screen. And it's gotta be Dante, but just to be a little bit different, I'm gonna go with JP.
Nice.
Like without him,
you don't have the movie without him.
You don't have the movie without him. Like he's a perfect antagonist, like the person to just kind of play off of. Like the reason why these guys have like an arch nemesis at work.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's got some layers, man. He's got a sad, lonely existence. He's a genius at a young age.
Child prodigy.
He's tough. He's
tough.
Got his Segway and his fluorescent light bulb room where he's just zooming around, ingesting fuel of sushi and whatever the hell that was. Like, I mean, he's a lonely dude. So there's some layers to this guy. Yep. He cries, and when he goes over to what's Alan's character name? I can't believe I forgot that.
I forgot.
In my notes, I just have him as Alan.
Yeah, same here. Like I
put Alan on everyone.
I just brain fogged all of us with that one.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, like when he comes over to his house though, and he's crying and everything. Like, I mean, I know it's like comical and funny, but again, there are layers to that character.
Alex.
That's it. Yeah. But so he's a lonely dude, man, and you think maybe he only wants acceptance, and he's not really that bad of a guy. Turns out he's that bad of a guy.
Anish, speaking of, I don't feel like we really gave Alan his flowers for
the boy.
Really smoke on him much.
Yeah, true. The main character. Yeah,
and sadly, this is like his only leading role, like in any movie, right?
I think
he's in the universe, but
yeah.
I think too because he just plays straight character in this, right? I mean, he's quick witted, he's got some zingers here and there, but he's basically just you need your straight guy because there's so much chaos and comedy around him. So like you gotta have someone play it straight, so you have some levity and something grounded there. So I mean, that's probably why he falls. But a very important role for sure. The boy in Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he came in throwing heat with just coming all over Nick Schwartz's mom.
He did, to quote Adam Sandler from Happy Gilmore, she shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that does it with all our categories. Anything else about this movie that we missed that we want to touch on before we wrap this episode up? I know this is a lot shorter than you guys do on your guys' podcast, but
yeah, thank God. I have to tell you about the nightmare that was our Batman Begins episode. As we recorded this, just dropped. That thing was 3 hours and 30 minutes before me and the Leaf we cut 70 minutes out of a podcast.
Wow.
Yeah,
now that's an uncut version. Grandma's Boy.
Yeah,
that's a real one.
Yeah, Chris Lowry's Batman Begins.
That's the Snyder cut, man. I did want to give some love to Dr. Shockaloo, man. He makes cameos in several movies, but there's this movie. I don't know if you guys seen it. That's My Boy. Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, and it's one of my favorite freaking Sandler movies. And he's in that, and he's just I don't know, just every time he's in there, he plays kind of a similar character or whatever. But he's just he's a shaman or a priest or something, and they're trying to get him married at the end, and he's like, I got to be part of this shit, like because they like bring him in to like marry them or whatever. But he's always so funny. Also, he has the one that stayed with my friends. My beef is strong. When he farts, that's that one stayed in my friends for 20 years now. So still going strong.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like every time we do these movie podcasts, it almost becomes like a PSA because like we always become like old men and just be like, they don't make good comedies anymore.
Because they don't.
I mean, a few episodes back, we literally went down a rabbit hole.
We looked them all up.
We looked them all up. And there's literally like the interview was probably the last good one.
Dude, and that was freaking what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, 2014, 2015, something like that.
So more than that. Like, I have a theory, and maybe your universe will agree with this. It goes in cycles, right? So the 70s, your Porky's, what was the other one? There's Porky's, Revenge of the Nerds. Those
Animal
skin
House?
flicks, so those were around, and they went away. And then American Pie came back, and then they came back, and then they went away. So my fingers are crossed that we are due for the resurgence.
We're coming back, yeah.
We're due for the resurgence. I don't know who's going to be the person that's says, "Hey, this is still funny."
Brave enough, really, at this point.
But just guys, look, Hollywood, stop hanging dong and show me boobies. That's my PSA.
And it's almost like, and stuff's just going to streaming now. Like I think. Like, I don't know if y'all finished Tires, like Shane Gillis stuff.
I haven't finished season 2. So funny.
But I mean, it reminds me of the same, like,
correct
the thing where it's like, there's the Happy Gilmore or Happy Madison, whatever universe, and Shane Gillis and all of his buddies are doing this.
That's why I say, like,
they could keep doing stuff like that would be so funny. Like, 100%. I feel like stand-ups like made a resurgence.
Yeah, stand up turned the corner, and it's back to where it was like in the 90s. And
so now those guys can start doing more stuff.
It's actually weird how like cyclical that is, because it's like right around Porky's, Revenge of the Nerds, all that stuff. That's when Eddie Murphy's stand ups were hitting. That were like, and then you had shoot, I forgot his name. The dude that was in the leather jacket that was so freaking crazy. I can't remember his name. Anyway,
Richard Pryor.
No, him too.
Sam Kinison?
Sam Kinison. But you had those dudes that were around, then that stand-up comedy went away, and then you had it come back, I think in the, the 2000s. I remember we had some, like, Chappelle's stand-up was so big.
Yeah.
Killing Them Softly, I think. And then it went away, and now it's back again. And Chappelle led that a couple years ago, where he came out with just some bangers. Now you got Gillis, Kill Tony, all those dudes. So bring back the American Pie type movies, please. We want to laugh again. More Grandma's Boy.
Yeah. Low brow.
Yeah. Don't overthink it. Farts are funny.
Yeah.
Always funny.
Yeah, always funny. We will never not laugh at a fart.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Yeah. I think part of the problem also is like, for the longest time, SNL used to be like this feeder system into like kind of your starting ground, and then you kind of move into like the movies and like doing all that. And after really that Will Ferrell run of SNL, that was probably like the last like really great cast that was really producing quality movies after their SNL time.
Agreed.
Well, that was their only path. It was like if you didn't get on like whatever the late night show was.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I read
try and get on SNL.
Like, there's a whole book that came out. SNL. I don't know. It was freaking massive. It was an audiobook. It's like 20 hours. I listened to because I got a pretty long commute to work. But like, it talked about it used to be Groundlings, Second City, to SNL. From SNL, you go do movies, and that's like if you're a comedian, you want to go that path. That's what, or you do stand up. Then SNL, you write, and you go right in Hollywood. And now it's just. I don't know what happened. Also, SNL got lazy. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Like it just like I'm sorry. I like my comedy with a little bit of like you can make a low hanging fruit joke, just be clever about it. Like you know, go watch Norm Macdonald. Look, his OJ jokes may have been low hanging fruit, but there was when you find out the context and behind the scenes that they were telling him not to do the OJ jokes, just his delivery, dude, flawless. Norm Macdonald, the GOAT. Just saying.
Yeah, agreed. I will say I can't remember the last time I watched like a full like SNL episode. It's probably been forever. But the one bit that always cracks me up every year is that the Weekend Update, Michael Che and Colin Jost, they do the joke swap.
Yes,
the joke swap is hilarious.
That's like that's what I mean. Like, dude, Michael Che, like on I guess it's X now, was Twitter. He used to tweet out these awful jokes that like cancelable jokes, and then would be like, sorry, fam, my Twitter got hacked. Yeah. And like, it was like this gag, but then people were like, wait, did it really get hacked or did it not get hacked? And I'm like, I know it didn't get hacked, but that's genius because how you going to disprove him? So he was just finding a way to get these like jokes out there that he wanted to get out there. And then, but their joke swap, those two dudes are funny. Like, I wish those dudes would like pump out some movies or something like that. Like, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I love and we talked about it, the Kill Tony. I found that like during COVID, like
man,
sitting at home trying to find the end of the internet, and I just like consumed them like over COVID.
Yeah,
like,
dude, you're the one that keeps me updated on them. You'll send me clips and stuff
all the time because it just cracks me up. I mean, because the format of it is just awesome because you get 1 minute to go up there and be funny or not. Like there's no fluff, there's no fat on it. Like you just got to go up there and be funny or not. And then they do the interview and Tony's a master roaster.
Oh, for sure.
So and sometimes it's very insightful, and sometimes they're just making fun of them. But that I feel like that there's people really like coming off and like becoming famous off of that show now that it's even
that style of humor, that whole, again, like I said earlier, like I think it was off air, but I've always felt I'm a huge Trey Parker and Matt Stone fan as well, and they always said the thing, and it made most sense, was like either it's all okay or none of it's okay. And you can do comedy without malice. Like if you're being malicious and whatever, like that's hate. Like no.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do comedy. You can be clever and you can make fun of anything you want if you're clever about it. Yeah. And there's an art to that to make people laugh. Like comedy is joy. Stop canceling comedy. Like, I want to laugh. I want to laugh at some terrible things sometimes. See that scene that Anish had to cut out earlier about Columbine.
Yeah. No, you mentioned it twice. It's staying in.
That's fine. I'm worried about you guys, Brand, not mine. Yeah.
Listen, we're not to the ad revenue stages of production, so this is our time to work out those kinks.
Yeah, work out those kinks. You're like, yep, no more Chris back. Can't.
And listen, if we can survive the Tropic Thunder episode,
that's what I mean. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one.
This one maybe end up being a cult classic. If we get canceled before, it might be like,
it's true.
Just a lore.
Dude, I would be mad. If I got canceled for that joke, I'd be like, that wasn't even that good. Like, at least let me get my money's worth. If you're going to cancel me, like, let me go out on top. That's what I always say at work about HR.
Yeah.
You're going to take me out. Like, take me out. Let me get my shots in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the story good.
Graveyard joke?
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. That was funny.
That's
funny.
Nothing like dead grandmas. a lot of death humor tonight, guys. I apologize. I think I slept 30 minutes last night, so we're running on an empty tank. But
this is how usually our Sunday night recordings go. We go for
we spiral.
We're running kind of close to what our normal run times are for episodes, and usually by the time we get to this point, anything's flowing. We're all loose. We forget we're recording.
No one's listening.
No one's listening.
Podcast is the best, man. Everybody's loose. You're just hanging out. Everybody just wants. That's what podcast should be. Just bros hanging out.
Yeah, and look at this point in the pod, half our listeners probably bailed anyway. So yeah, if
no, I don't think so, man. For real, like y'all are doing a good job. Seriously, like
hey, really, up to y'all.
Yeah. Well, you might want to find better heroes.
Yeah.
Never meet your heroes.
Never meet your heroes, kid. Yeah, jeez. But no, man, y'all are killing it. The thing is, like your consistency. I know that's such a low hanging fruit for people to be like. I get that a lot of times from people. They're like, "Yeah, man, y'all are really consistent, always putting out episodes." But it's hard to do.
It matters.
Yeah, it's really hard to do. People you have multiple people. You got schedule conflicts. You guys have a really good idea with doing movies. It's a good thing for you guys to be able to do that. You can start to bank episodes. If you can't get it, just it's a good job. Because are you almost at a year now? You over a year?
Close.
Almost, yeah.
August,
dude. First week of August was our first episode. So,
dude, yeah, y'all need to just keep it up, man. You're doing a good job for real. So I enjoy it.
Nice. Well, we appreciate that, Chris. I think that's the perfect spot to end this episode. let's try to get out of here before
something Chris
rolls off the front.
Yeah. Cut Chris's mic. Cut it.
His video feed just cuts.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on, spending some time with us.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I appreciate the invite, guys. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll definitely have to do a future collab again for sure.
Thing.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week.